This is another one of Bachmann's recent releases, and they've hit our shelves probably in the last 2 weeks or so. Hi again, it's Dave, the train guy from Hobby Man by Hearns today. On today's presentation, yes, we are doing another Bachmann 00 model from Bachmann Branchline, and today it'll be the ROD 280. Ta-da! Okay, again, this is another one of Bachmann's recent releases, and they've hit our shelves probably in the last 2 weeks or so. But anyway, just a brief history for anyone who doesn't know, and it was a bit of an education on myself. Here, ROD was the Railway Operations Department. So this was a department within the British Ministry of War, I believe, and their purpose was to obviously, they were tasked with trying to move massive movements of freight and troops around the countryside, and predominantly in France. And the purpose of the construction of these particular engines was they wanted a standard design that could be used overseas or abroad during World War One. I'm guessing the locomotive power was probably either lacking or wasn't powerful enough to move the massive troop trains they would need to move, especially in France. So it's a standard design. I think there was something like perhaps around about 223 locomotives. And that was on the first batch, and I think there was a second batch of about 100. After the armistice of 1918, they're all shipped back to the UK. And just interestingly enough, a couple of them ended up in New South Wales in the Hunter Valley hauling coal after the war. So, yeah, it's got a sort of an Australian connection. Anyway, we'll do the unboxing. And as always with Bachmann, which is, quite classy, you always get a bit of a sort of a backstory and the history of the engines, which I like. Yeah. And as per usual, it's the usual ice cube packaging. That comes off. The one we're reviewing today is a DC model, so it doesn't have sound. And we just start with the instructions. As like you normally expect with Bachmann products, you get a bag of detailing goodies. So before we open it, you can see the brake gear, there's some vacuum hoses, and some screw link couplings, as emphasized here in the instructions. Yeah, it just enhances the model. And why wouldn't you put it on? Okay, really easy to follow instructions, just where the brake rigging goes on the tender, oiling points, and they also go into detail about fitting DCC decoders, and it will take a 21-pin decoder. If you are interested and if you do order this model, or you come into store to buy it, and you want a decoder, we carry stocks of DC Concepts 21-pin decoders. So if you need a decoder, we do have them in stock. And there's rather elaborate instructions for the fitting of it, and sound if needed. Okay, on with the unwrapping. It's a rather handsome looking engine. Okay, it's permanently coupled, so a little bit of care is needed. Obviously showing its ownership in a World War One situation. We could probably do with a bit of weathering actually. It looks way too pristine. We have the builder's plates marked on there. We have compressors. And like I said, there's a fair bit of detail you can add on, but there's some really delicate bits of detail right here. Yeah, and the cab, there we go. Again, it's really nicely detailed. Yeah, it probably just needs a set of driver figures in period attire. Anyway, I'm going to give it a bit of a test, so just bear with us. got a 5-pole motor, so it's got a really nice smooth crawl. Yeah, and hopefully that picks up into a pan shot. Yeah, well, there you go. It's again, it's something a bit different from Bachmann. They do have this sort of like this English war theme, like with their 009 and their war wagons and their associated rolling stock. So I'm guessing they'll probably come out with a lot more in the future. But there you have it, the ROD 28. Yeah. Alright, so if you're interested in any of these, they're available. We only have very limited numbers of this particular engine, and they're available at both Hearns and the Hobby Man, and they are available online. And postage within Australia is free for all purchases over $100. So yeah, it's a rather interesting engine. If you are interested, get in quick. Okay, until next time, happy railway modelling. Until then, cheers for now. Dave. See you then, bye.